What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to everybody. Welcome back to myself. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. How is everybody doing? We're just going to give everybody a few minutes to come in. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and on Kick. So if you want to follow us on any of the other platforms, please make sure you go ahead and follow us there. Coco Mom is in the house. Let me make sure I say hello to everybody. How's it going? One True Whitney, you are first. Close here. Nebby's here. What's up, Nebby? Jazzy's here. Hello, Jazzy. Desert Druzy. Coco Mom celebrating 4 years as a member. Oh, well, thank you for remaining to be a member after my almost 2-week hiatus. We did take a break. Well, we were on vacation and we were working and a whole bunch of other stuff. And me Blondie. How are you, me Blondie? Mama Flo's in the house. What's up, Mama? Did I say 4 years? 4 months? Whoops, 4 years as a member? We're not there yet. Absolutely not there. 4 months. 4 months as a member. Whoa. Oh, the gifted memberships are a different color now. Whoa. The Coco Mom just gifted 5 memberships, you guys. So please make sure you thank Coco Mom in the chat. I don't even know if there's enough people in here to receive them. Who received them? Elizabeth, 50 Shades of Pink, Phoenix, Sharon, and Just Fingy. Just Fingy. That's awesome. Well, how is everybody doing, you guys? It's been a minute. I haven't been on in a minute, so I want to know, how is everybody else doing? How are you all doing? Joy, howdy. Valerie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're going to talk for a minute before we even get started on the show, because I feel like I've abandoned you guys, but I'm back. I'm back. And once again, it's another late night show. Joy, how you doing? Valerie, how are you doing? Me Blondie, how are ya? No. Whitty says, we were abandoned. I missed you guys too. Oh, Druzy, don't forget, we are streaming in vertical and horizontal. So if you don't like the view that you're watching, you can make sure that you can switch on over. Insanity is hitting the wrong link 3 times in a row now. All right, so you're back in the horizontal view. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a planned vacation. It was really just, stuff got heavy with work. We purchased a new platform, a new learning management system, and I had to finish my curriculum. I had to learn the new management system. Then I had to put everything on the platform. And I'm still learning how to use it, right? And we have a class that started this week. We just started a new class this week. Do have class tomorrow. So it's been super busy. And then I took the weekend off and I was in Vegas for EDC. I don't know if anybody else knows about EDC, but I was at Electric Daisy Carnival in Vegas, and it was such a hectic, busy weekend. But thank you, Jazzy. We took a little bit of time off. You started your first week of college. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is super incredible. Congratulations on your start. And don't mind me if I'm looking around. I got like 3 monitors here, so I'm just trying to figure out where we're going to start. We're probably going to start off with David, because that is where I left off. Let me just make sure that I share my screen. So, as many of you guys already know, David was in court on, what was it, the 12th? For a status conference or status hearing, whatever you want to call it. And we learned really quick that, okay, hold on. Somebody wants to say hello, you guys. Somebody says, I haven't been on a live with you guys in a minute, so he wants his few seconds of fame. What's up, Yoshi? Everybody say hello to Yoshi. He said, pick me up. I want to be on the show. Here, let's go back to this. Oops. This is Yoshi, you guys. Here you go. Are you good now? Are you good? You got your couple of seconds? Oh, you want to talk into the mic? What's that? Yoshi? 10? No, Yoshi is only... He's going on 3 years. He'll be 3 in November. Got all this dog hair on me now. Yeah, the chunky sausage. My little chunky sausage. Yeah, he stays with me right here during all of our lives. He likes to hang out in the studio when we're live, you know. My little fluff nugget. Kind of almost sounds like a bad word. Jazzy said my little fluff nugget. All right, you guys, how are we feeling about David? How are you guys feeling about him? You guys ready for this thing to be over or started? Because I feel like it's been, I don't know. I've been gone for, I don't know. My last stream was more than a few days ago, and I feel like it's been months. He looks like a troublemaker, Desert Druzy? He can be. He can be. I will say he can be, but, you know, it's a dog's life, you know? What else are they supposed to do? Coco Mom just sent us a Cash App donation. Thank you so much for your Cash App donation. Nay, how's it going? Joy says, I want to see the trial, not gonna lie. I want it broadcasted. I think we do too. Yeah, that was definitely a loaded question, right? How do we feel about David? How do we feel about the trial and it being postponed? I mean, it's normal, right? It's nothing brand new. I think we all kind of expected it. Nobody anticipated that it was going to be finished overnight, let alone go to the preliminary trial. Finally, people are seeing David for who he really is. And what is that, Whitney? What might you say that is? It was supposed to be on the 26th of this month. However, it was postponed. I think there's going to be another status conference hearing next month, early June. I want to say June 7th, if I'm not mistaken. And then the preliminary is set to begin on June, is it 29th? I keep getting those two dates mixed up. So May 26th, and then let me see. June 29th is what I remember. But somebody in the comments correct me if I am wrong. June 29th, right? Okay. That makes sense. Right. There's no pretending superstars, right? No pretenders hanging out around school gates offering kids $1,000 in cash to behave. Yikes. All right, you guys, let's get into this video really quick because it's been a minute since I've been able to catch up on everything. So we're just going to kind of watch this really quick.
Morning for his hearing in his
Hold on.
Singer David returns to court this morning for his hearing in his murder case. Now he is charged with killing an Inland Empire teenager, dismembering her, and then putting her in the trunk of his Tesla. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live outside the courthouse in downtown LA. So Lauren, this is a gruesome case that the prosecution is laying out.
Lynette, good morning. Yes, a lot of disturbing details here. Now, this morning's hearing is what they call a status conference hearing. So this is really going to give the opportunity for the attorneys and the judge to make sure that this
Yes,
case
we
is
will.
on track. So they're going to make sure that they set deadlines. They're really looking at the progress of the case. Now, let's go back to the last time we saw the singer in court. These are sketches just last month. You see the singer, whose legal name is David Burke, shackled and wearing jail clothes. Prosecutors are accusing the 21-year-old of attempting to cover his tracks before 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Covering his tracks, you guys. I don't know if David thought about covering any of his tracks because, as you guys have seen, since Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered, the internet has been on a tirade, just rediscovering everything that David has done, retracing his steps from basically day one. So it's this guy did a horrible job at covering his tracks. Raina, how's it going?
Body was found in his car. According to prosecutors, text
Long
messages
time no
reveal the
see.
murder stemmed from an argument between
Military
Burke
Ma,
and
what's
Rivas
up?
Hernandez, claiming Rivas Hernandez threatened to expose their sexual relationship in an effort to destroy Burke's rising singing career. The next day, prosecutors say Rivas Hernandez's phone went silent after she went to Burke's Hollywood Hills home. The prosecution preliminary hearing memo also alleges Burke purchased tools online for the murder. LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman filed 7 criminal charges against Burke, including murder.
That's absolutely right, Brandon, right? It sounds like he was releasing his tracks and not covering them. With all the leaks that have come out since this case started, David has had more leaks than covering up, right? Yeah, he's had a lot of tracks leak. Somebody on his team don't like him, or he's doing it himself. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Burke has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. His team claims his innocence. Now, today's status conference hearing is scheduled for this morning. As far as the preliminary hearing, that's scheduled for later this afternoon. Of course, we'll be there for both of them. We'll continue to keep you posted on the latest developments after this morning's hearing. Reporting live here in downtown, I'm Lauren Coronado for Today in LA.
All right. And so after that, the only video that I'm going to play regarding this next is Lauren Conlon's follow-up regarding David and the delay of the preliminary hearing, and basically the wink that shocked the internet, I guess. I don't know if it really shocked anybody, but I guess he was feeling very confident, I guess. Winking all over the place, winking to his attorney. I don't know if she's going to be able to save him, though. Let's get into what she has to say.
Singer David was inside a Los Angeles courtroom today wearing shackles, orange prison garb, and he appeared to wink at his lawyer, Blair Burke, when he was being escorted out of the courtroom at the end of the hearing. We'll get into that in a minute or a little bit later, because that is beyond arrogant, in my opinion. And I think the main takeaway from today was that the pretrial hearing is no longer happening on June 26th. It's going to be happening on June 29th. And we will know for certain if it's happening on June 29th by June 17th, because there is another status conference that is set to occur on the 17th, which essentially is what
okay, so the 17th, I said earlier June 7th, but that I clearly was wrong. So June 17th.
That happened today. They met, they went over the discovery process, where they were in that process, and they established that, you know, they weren't ready. Or I should say the defense really isn't ready here because they feel like they don't have enough evidence. Blair Burke actually said in court, I can't defend what I don't know. And I was very lucky, by the way, to have our wonderful reporter Taylor inside the courtroom. Again, she's the one that caught all of this and gave me the most amazing notes in order to put a story together for you guys and also do this video. However, I will be booking a trip to Los Angeles for the pretrial.
Oh, we're gonna get Lauren Conlon in LA
to go 5 to 6 days per the court. I
welcome back, Whitney.
Don't think
welcome
it'll
back.
Go that long. They usually
Tomato,
sort of
tomato, right? Same
overextend.
shit.
I would probably think 3 to 4 days. But if you guys know me and you guys follow me, you know that it is driving me absolutely crazy not to be inside that courtroom. I cover so many trials, and I think that, what I do best in general is reporting what goes on inside a courtroom from an objective perspective. So yes, I will be there should this happen at the end of June. And I think it will at this point, because Beth Silverman, she put her foot down. She's like, it's fine, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that we're moving it now, but we can't keep kicking the can down the road, so to speak. If we move it for what is a third time, because if you recall, this hearing was originally scheduled for just a few days after David's arraignment, and then it was obviously scheduled for the 26th, and now it's been moved to June 29th.
That's right, Chloe. I also saw Taylor on Nancy as well, so she's gaining traction as a reporter for LA Magazine. I think a couple of episodes before this, she was on and like nobody knew who she was. Actually, I think on this day, it was her tweets that she put out that everybody started referring to. So if I'm not mistaken, I remember Taylor Parise's tweets were the first ones. I think, Chloe, you were the one that found them, and you sent it over to the Discord, and we're like, oh, who's Taylor Parise? So shout out to Taylor.
So she's like, we're not moving it for a fourth time. That's that. Taylor also observed that David's defense attorney, Blair Burke, she wasn't as, I guess maybe the word is harsh or aggressive as she has sort of come off in prior hearings. And this could be because, they are starting to go through all of the evidence as it's turned over to them. And, maybe they have a lot more than she initially thought, because look, she's going off of what prosecutors are giving to her. And also,
I mean, come on now, there's 40 terabytes of evidence and 10 terabytes of that naughty stuff. I mean, what else was she thinking, right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, on that same day, on May 12th, they reported that only 10 terabytes of evidence has been transferred over, or they only have 10 terabytes of evidence in their possession. So, I don't know. Who knows? Even by June 17th, we're probably not going to have everything done. And I'm very curious what type of technology that the court systems really have, because 10 terabytes, like to transfer over 40 terabytes, really shouldn't take that long. But who knows? I could be wrong. What do I know?
What her client is telling her, what David is telling her. That's pretty much all she has. I mean, I would say, obviously, defense attorneys, they hire their own experts. They hire their own experts for testing. They also generally hire private investigators to try to sort of snoop around, see what was going on in the lives of the victim. If there is a victim, maybe an accuser, maybe a witness, so they can kind of build what their defense is going to be. So that's what I think the defense whole team obviously is trying to do now in the midst of all of this. So I go back to Taylor telling me about this wink. And she actually said, I know that you're really going to appreciate this little detail here. And I was like, yes, I really do, because this tells me a lot. And I am not a doctor.
Me Blondie, I mean, there's always a possibility that he recorded it. We know that there were cameras downstairs in that garage from that live stream that he did with Cat's Eye. So, he did have a camera down there when he was showing off the arcade. Who knows if that camera ever moved, right? I'm sure he probably set up a computer down there too, and probably was streaming from out there. So could it have been on video? I don't know. Could have. What do you guys think? You guys think that he recorded it? Put a 1 in the chat if you think he recorded it. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he was too smart to do that.
I'm not a body language expert. This is obviously my opinion, but it's really upsetting to me that David would be in court for something this serious, right? We're talking about a child, a little girl who came to a brutal end and was in his car. dismembered. We see a relationship through prosecutors. They have
Nope.
showed us
No
these
way.
text messages where she has said to him, you know, all we do is have sex. Well, that is grape. And I'm saying that word for the algorithm here, but that is grape. It is. So what he did to her, I'm not even saying allegedly because we know that at this point, awful.
I have noticed that that Lauren Conlin is one of the only reporters, like legitimate reporters, that uses the word grape. All the other like major reporters, they don't sugarcoat anything. You won't hear Jesse Weber or Nancy Grace not say it. They'll just flat out say it. So Lauren Conlin is looking out for that algorithm.
And he's sitting in court casually winking. I mean, did he ever care about her feelings, her family? Does this kid David, this guy David, care about anyone other than himself?
That's true, Joe, right? I don't think he's too smart to do anything. Yeah, but definitely if they had video, they probably would have arrested him way sooner.
I would speculate no. You're gonna wink? You're gonna be casual like that? No, bitch, put your head down like this.
Whoa. Did she just straight? Oh, that caught me off guard. Did she just call him a bitch? Hold on, we're gonna have to run that back. Whoa. That threw me for a loop. Lauren, damn.
I would speculate no. You're gonna wink? You're gonna be casual like that? No, bitch, put your head down like this.
Damn, hold on. Let me. Shots fired. Damn, Lauren Conlin is. Ooh, damn. Okay.
You're gonna be casual like that? No, bitch, put your head down like this. And don't say a word. Don't look anyone in the eye. Look sorry. And that is gonna be on his attorneys, you know, to tell him. Allegedly.
Oh my God, those were shots fired. I need one of those shots fired sound effects. That was crazy. Damn. Okay, Lauren, that's how you feel? That's how you feel.
When he actually gets to trial, there is nothing more disgusting than a defendant who is accused of awful things sitting at that table and looking smug. I mean, it totally drives me insane. And again, I cannot wait to just see for myself.
He's a man child.
But just going back to what to expect in a pretrial hearing, and I believe that the DA's office as well as the defense should be posting some new filings, discovery filings soon. So I do have someone in LA who is constantly checking that for me so we can get those filings because we should hopefully be able to see a witness list for the pretrial hearing. And I think that a lot of other cases that I've covered that have these hearings, you know, there's not necessarily as much digital or forensic evidence because they have witnesses to rely on. So the attorneys are just kind of submitting a witness list here, if you will. And you know, the witness list can consist of obviously experts or, you know, cops.
Coco Mom, thank you for hanging out. We appreciate you. Thank you for your 5 gifted memberships. And everybody who received the gifted membership, if y'all are here, make sure you thank Coco Mom, you guys.
Or just people that were involved in the incident who have information or evidence to move the case forward. So in this case, I do feel like for the preliminary hearing, we will hear most likely from a medical examiner, definitely from the LAPD. I think that we might hear from maybe a friend or two of David's.
What about SF Investigates? Think they're going to call him up to testify?
If I had to guess, just to maybe establish some kind of timeline for him or some kind of just foundation as to what was happening in his life, possibly a manager. I mean, you know, we'll see. But I will say that this case is very clearly heavily relying on digital evidence. And so I go back to when I said extensive video evidence. I think that this video evidence most likely is going to be videos.
Coco Mom, I thought you were going to sleep already. Just gifted 10 membership. If you receive the gifted membership from Coco Mom, please make sure you thank them on your way in or on your way out. Thank you so much, Kokomo. I appreciate you.
Text messages that we have seen floating around on sites like Reddit or, Instagram, whatever. And I've seen just, text messages where people say, oh, this is David admitting to XYZ, or this is Celeste's brother, and
Thank you,
I
Kokomo.
can't verify those. I do have an expert that I send things to, but they're like, this is tough. I mean, it has to be sent out properly to a lab in order to confirm here. So I think,
Yeah, you might be right, Chloe. I think so too, right? I don't think there is any use for him at the trial. I mean, everything that he's pretty much brought up, I don't know if they're going to or can use at trial. He didn't use the burn cage. He didn't use the chainsaw that SF discovered. So I don't know. Unless he knows a lot more that he hasn't disclosed, then I don't know. It could be a possibility.
that they have a lot of that, and they have confirmed that it is valid. They've confirmed, metadata. They've done all of the things, and they are going to present that. And I'm ready for it. And that, a lot of that was unearthed by Reddit sleuths, and I've given these guys a lot of credit.
Shout out to all the Reddit sleuths out there who have really kind of kept this case alive when everything went silent. And plus, they have found so much information. It's crazy. They took the first chainsaw. I'm sure if they had to have, right? Well, if they took the chainsaw, we don't know that yet, right? But there's a good possibility that they did. And you're right, Rodney. They took the first chainsaw, so they're going to use that. But the second one that SF found, there's probably, I don't know. That's the reason why they didn't take it, right? Because it wasn't considered the murder weapon. So good point. Thank you for that, Rodney. Chloe said, and the prosecutors are going to talk about the chainsaws and burn cage because it's part of their theory, but they don't need SF to testify about them. Great point.
Done a really good job when it comes to certain aspects of this case and unearthing information that's very, very important. So let me.
You know what? Hold on, Abraham. I do want to go back to that, right? Because SF dropped that video of the Tesla, or the person driving the Tesla and parking it on July 29th. And I don't know what I see in that video. I don't know if I saw anybody driving it. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody behind the wheel, but I definitely cannot make out who the person is behind the wheel. Do any of you guys know? Or have any of you guys seen anything that kind of clearly depicts that Mr. Bonnet was driving the Tesla? The Bonnet did it. Only the second one was left at the house because he didn't use it. Very correct. Yep, he did not use the second chainsaw. And that's where the photos of that Wen brand chainsaw that was corded was left inside the home. Photos of that came out not too long ago. I think I don't know if I have photos of it. I might. Doesn't matter though. It really doesn't matter because they're probably not going to use it.
Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything.
Wait, Chloe, so you're telling me that it wasn't being driven all by itself with the Tesla technology? You're saying there was somebody in the car? You're going to have to prove it.
Here that happened in court today. Yes, Silverman expressed a bit of frustration over the scheduling adjustments, but said, fine, as long as we don't push it back again. And Blair Burke also made a statement saying, I can't defend what I don't know, meaning get me more evidence. And she didn't seem as aggressive today.
Yeah, okay. I tell you, he looked like a man. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now,
is that who you're talking about, Whitney? I think that's who you're talking about, right?
I want to just quickly talk about Celeste and a possible pregnancy. I did speak to Joseph Scott Morgan, a death investigator who has been on this channel before, and he said, conclusively, I don't think we're ever going to know if she was pregnant or not because her body was so badly decomposed. And that's from a medical conclusive perspective. I think that possibly there could be text messages if she was. I'm saying if she was, maybe
you have Miss Swan out here yelling this. Yeah, he looked like a man. Oh, come on. Put a one in the chat if you guys remember Miss Swan from Mad TV.
She sent messages to David. Maybe she confided in a friend.
Yeah,
maybe,
okay, I tell you, yeah.
A family member, cousin, who the hell knows? Possibly. I'm speculating.
Thought I was
if she
going
was
crazy.
They could present that in court, but that would be up to a jury to decide eventually, or a judge if they believed that she was or not. But again, I don't know if that that would be considered just conclusive. A text message hinting or saying, I think I am, or I could be, or I am. I mean, who knows? Who knows? A defense team or a defense attorney is always going to be able to poke holes in circumstantial evidence. That is not me ducking cover for anyone. That is just a fact. That's what they do. And this case, while it seems like they have so much evidence,
I think I'm gonna have to make that a little sound bit. He looked like a man, yeah.
Which is great. It honestly is great in getting justice for this little girl. It will.
Joe, you know what? I mean, I don't know if that's even going to be possible. I know that they changed the death certificate to show that it is they're unclear if she was pregnant, but it would be crazy to see how that they could prove it and then have the defense pick and tear that whole autopsy report up, right? I think they're really going to tear that apart, especially after they made those amendments and made the changes. I don't know. Yeah, without a previous live birth, not a chance at that stage of decomp, right? Even if she was and they tried to test the HCG levels in her, those HCG levels return to normal in like 3 to 6 weeks. So there's no way that they're going to find any kind of change. And they're probably saying they probably made the change, the amendment to her death certificate, because they discovered those text messages. So now they're just putting unclear, in my opinion, right?
Will be heavily circumstantial. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It really doesn't. I mean, I go back to Scott Peterson. He was convicted on essentially all circumstantial evidence. So, that's good. I also spoke with an attorney last week, and I filed a story on it where he said, it's very possible David could face federal charges as well when it comes to the CSAM material. If you don't know what CSAM is, I'm not going to say it on the channel, but you can look it up. And that's a
Ava,
federal
what's up, Ava?
charge here. That is a federal charge. So yes, he could potentially face federal charges as well. I
mean, but in the brief, it specifically says that he was not charged for it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're gonna bring those federal charges against him? I know they haven't yet, right? But if they would, I know that would probably take place after the trial. So what do you guys think? You guys think that they're gonna bring those federal charges against him with all that CSAM? I mean, I think they should.
If they feel like doing that, if the government feels like pressing charges. So, that's interesting. That could carry a hefty sentence as well. I actually have to look at the California statutes there, but I think that's an option because they said during the last hearing, there was a lot of that stuff on his phone. Yeah, maybe it's enough for some additional charges.
Well, let's not forget, me Blondie reminded us, right? What about taking her over state lines and international lines, right? He took her to Texas to meet the family, so I don't want to hear that the family didn't know shit about it. And apparently he took her to London. So where the feds at? Right? We need to hear the feds. Where the feds at?
I also want to address, and this is sort of the last thing here, and this is, I feel like this is personal. I don't always do this. But I mentioned I've been very impressed with Reddit sleuths, and I use Reddit to try to find more information that I can't necessarily find.
Shout out to all the Redditors. Put a 1 in the chat if you are on the Reddits, and if you are on the Reddits, what subs are you following to keep up with this case?
Court docs or whatever. And although I can't report specifically on all of it, when I read some of this stuff, and I keep the whole allegedly in the back of my mind, just because I can't prove everything to be 100% authentic, I use it for context. So I recently come across just one user in particular that really seems to enjoy hate watching me, and that is totally fine. This user likes to call me a paid shill for Mark Garagos, which I think.
Ooh, damn! I didn't know she was calling people out on Reddit too, or is it somebody on YouTube? Damn, the tea just keeps teeing.
Is so funny. For those of you that don't know, Mark is a very skilled criminal defense attorney, represents the Menendez brothers, and he is one of the many owners of LA Magazine. And I just think it's funny because it's like, I'm sorry, do you think that I have to share the same views as him?
Thanks,
That's
Abraham.
how it works, being a reporter and a journalist, because it's not. You don't have to share the same views as your employer. You don't. Also, I have an editor that I report to. So in a lot of places, you don't necessarily see, a reporter or a journalist reporting to the owner. But I felt the need to put that out there. And also, I guess maybe I said this maybe once.
Well, shout out to Rabbit and Strategic for always keeping everybody updated with the news. So I'll be watching them too, not gonna lie.
Or twice in a video. I guess I'll give myself I'll say twice, right? Just to throw the maximum out there. But when we got the unsealed briefing from the DA's office, and it noted that David paid a student $1,000 to get Celeste a new phone, or that, because her parents took her phone away, I was like, oh my gosh, that photo of David and that kid in a parking lot, like that is where my brain went. That is totally where my brain went. But I don't have the metadata to that photo. I mean, the person who took that photo has the metadata. I don't actually know for certain that is what was going on in that.
Did they ever find out who the person was that took the photo? I know there's rumors that the person in the photo receiving the money and the phone, if this was the same occasion, is Panzalo. So I don't know. Who knows who took the photo? I don't.
Photo, but yes, initially I was like, oh my gosh. And it was just in passing as I was discussing this. So I wasn't saying that conclusively, but this person, I think I counted 4 or 5 times where they like to repeat that I am running with that. I said it once, again, maybe twice. And it wasn't like, oh yes, that is what happened in that photo. That is what he was doing. They were exchanging money and a cell phone. No, I wasn't. It did make me think of it. And of course, that could be a possibility until we get the exact date and time of that photo. It's got to match up with, the date and time that prosecutors say that he did this and her parents took her phone away. But no, I felt the need to just address it. And again, I am a reporter, I'm a journalist, and part of my job is
wait, which one, Abraham? Which one? I'm about to make one for Miss Swan, but I can't do it right now during the live. I mean, I could, but we'll I gotta bring it up.
Doing the YouTube for LA Magazine, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy reporting on this stuff from an objective place. Sometimes I will let my emotions kind of come through because, you know, we're talking about a little girl here, and I want justice, just like everyone else.
Wait, you guys are buffering? Put a one. What? Hold on. Uh-oh. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. Uh-oh. That's weird. Let me know. Let me know if you're back. Let me know. Uh-oh. No. We should be good. Oh no. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me refresh. All right, y'all. Are you guys still back? Are we here? Are we live? Hold on. Oh. That's so weird. Hold on, you guys. Let me see what's going on here. No. That is so weird. Hold on. Y'all can see me. Still buffering. Damn it. Okay, hold on. I guess we're going to have to end it and come right back. I don't know if it'll work if I end and come back. Well, this is going to suck. Hold on.